My name's Gruff Weston and I work as a senior news researcher for Public Health Wales. A few years ago I started working in news research. I changed career and started working for HMRC, and I was aware there wasn't really a community at all for other news researchers working in Wales. So along with a handful of other people, we started a small community of news researchers, and we were meeting every other month to discuss anything that was news research related in Wales and sharing best practice. And then a few years down the line, I became aware of this community that CDPS had. And so we agreed to merge, and I merged my contacts and my users and with the group that CDPS were making, so we had a much larger community. And so we started off with a really big community of news researchers to broaden what was already there. And the reason I'm here today is to share best practice, to meet other researchers, to pass on some of my learnings to some of the researchers who are like me at the beginning, who are new to it and wanted to understand some things better. Just to be that kind of unofficial mentor to a few people who might have questions, who might want to know what's going on in Wales, who might have questions specifically about Welsh languages research. So those are the reasons for me being here today, and we've done these events before and they've been really successful. If you're working in any of the digital spaces that connect to user research, even if you're in service design, these communities are great for sharing experiences and best practice and advice for if you've got projects that you think are stuck, or if you're missing a bit of confidence on something you're working on, you can always get help from somebody in a community like this. So I'd recommend it to anyone who wanted to come along. I mean, obviously the facilities we have, the fact that we meet virtually and in person, means that you can connect together a community which otherwise you'd probably be working or be remote on. And we've got to remember that in Wales there isn't a huge user research community. There's not that base really that you might see in other places in terms of a digital space. So it's good to have a place or a point where we can all gather and talk user research. I think the community should be looking to grow its profile. I think we already do a lot of work with stakeholders to promote the work that we do. We have events on and we have speakers to our meetings. I think we should continue to be audience led, so that we listen to our community and listen to what they want, offering masterclasses, offering workshops, offering sessions whereby people can upskill themselves, and just raising all the good work that's done in user research in Wales, because I think there's definitely a need to grow the profile of it in Wales. As part of the community, I've often showcased and spoken about the work that I've done, and in particular my background was I started working as a Welsh languages researcher, and there's not many of us around, so my work over the previous 5 years at HMRC, I was able to pass on my learnings to a lot of people and explain what we did with Welsh users, everything from recruiting to interviewing, and how we used to do all of our aftercare and our contacts and management of it all. So being able to pass on that to new users and obviously explain to them all the pitfalls that I went through so that they can learn and avoid them is probably the best thing. So whenever we have opportunities, I often speak or support at these events, and there's a lot of mentoring and kind of idea sharing and knowledge transfer that's really important. If you see one of these events coming up in your area, or if you're at all interested, please come along and meet the group and people and see if you can benefit from hearing some of the stories that we have to share in our community.